Hey guys, it's Autumn here, and today we are going to be reviewing the ARTEZA Watercolors. These are the premium watercolors in the set of 12, and I wanted to show you guys them before I went ahead and put them in my palette. We will be using this one. This was my brother's palette for a set of watercolors I gave him. I cleaned it out and relabeled, and put the colors in there. So they come packaged in this really nice box, and they show you all the colors on the back, of which there are 12. So we put them out. Here they are. And they are wrapped in plastic in this little container. I'm going to open them up. You can get them. There we go. All right. Pardon my squeaky chair. It gets mad when it's at full height, but that's what we got. So here are what the tubes look like. They have all kinds of information on them, including the pigment numbers and the light fastness ratings, I believe, on there. I don't know how accurate the light fastness tests are, but these are all of our tubes. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put these all in the palette for us, and I'll be back in a bit. Yeah, so what I'm doing right now is I'm just recording myself putting them in this container.
Is that a new, like, empty pack?
Hey guys, so I'm back after having swatched these, and I'm going to give you a rundown of what I think of the color choices in this palette, and then we're going to move on to our painting. I did the swatches in my ELO sketchbook, which is almost finished, so expect a tour soon. But I am going to do some idea sketching, concept sketching. I don't promise that's what I'll go with, but it's just something to get me warmed up and ready to draw. So, color choices. I am a big proponent of not having black and white in a palette. I feel like it wastes valuable mixing. If you need a pure black for something, normally you would just use it for line art, because nothing is pure black. So something along the lines of a Payne's Gray, or like in my palettes, I have like neutral tint, Payne's Gray, Moon Glow, colors that aren't pure black, but are dark enough to give the appearance of black. And white tends to make the paint much thicker and more gouache-like, and if I wanted to paint with gouache, I would, not with watercolor attempting to look like gouache. it's good for somebody who's a beginner and doesn't quite understand the ability of watercolors to become thinner in lighter colors on their own. But it's a crutch that is something that not everybody needs or wants. So if I were to do the set, I would remove these in favor of maybe a purple, or like a purple and a gray of some sort, something that'll make the palette seem more balanced. Other than that, though, I think the palette is very well balanced. We've got our cool yellow and a warm yellow. We've got our cool red and, or no, our warm red and our cool red. Cool and warm blue, cool and warm green, cool and warm brown. So it's a very good balance of having the different tones of the colors, and you can mix basically anything from that. So adding in maybe like a purple or something like that, because purples are harder to mix. Like I have like 3 different purples between my palettes because I like the different tones and the different types of purples that you can get, but they're not easy to do with just mixing colors. So adding in a purple would be good, in my opinion, or maybe adding in a darker brown, something along those lines, because you can neutralize colors and you can get that gray if you know how to do it. So it's not as much of a concern for me to have a gray, but it is what I would prefer. So overall, colors are nice, colors work, just not how I would set up a palette. You guys have seen my palettes, you've seen the 2 that I use. We've got my Jane Davenport and my big custom palette. My Jane Davenport one is another small custom, and it's got all the different shades of primaries, and then it's got a brown and 2 grays in it. I am a big proponent of having those colors in there. And my big palette is kind of like an end-all be-all and holds all of my colors. And there are a lot of grays in here, and there's just a lot of like just easy to have mixes already done. So I've got lots of purples in here. Moonglow has purple in it. I've got different pinks, some oranges. Like, it's good to have a well-rounded palette. They are not chalky, at least not all of them have a chalky feel to them, which is nice. The pigment's good. It did take a little bit of working to get some of the pigment to be its most solidified color, like our yellow ochre. This is about as much as I could get it to be like a hardened color. And the burnt umber was also something I was having a problem with. It's pretty, it's a nice color, but I just couldn't get it to have a nice mass tone. Everything else I didn't have too much difficulty with. Ultramarines are notorious for having a difficult time re-wetting and getting their mass tone, so I'm not too upset about that. But everything else is pretty good. The black is nice. It's a neutral black, so it blends out into gray, so I can use it that way. But it's pretty good. I like the set. It's probably not something I will use a lot. It'll probably be a once in a while playing around sort of palette, because I'm more apt to use my more expensive paints over these. But for a starter set, it's not bad. It's almost about the same quality as my Winsor Newton palettes that I had when I first started, and honestly I would recommend them as a starter palette just based off colors, but I will let you know if that remains after I am finished painting my painting. So I'm going to hop into a little bit of a sketch session, and I will talk to you in the voiceover. Hey guys, it's VoiceOver Autumn here, and I am here to let you know what I thought in totality of these paints. Now, I enjoyed, to an extent at least, the paints that I was using. I did like the ARTEZA paints quite a bit. The issues that I was having with them may not have been on the paints themselves, but maybe the paper or the brushes, but they're just things I wanted to state and put out there. So I'm having a really hard time getting flat tones with some of the colors. They reactivated on the page pretty badly. They just muddied very easily. Even after I'd let them dry, they mixed and they just mixed a lot. That's something that I don't like to have occur when I'm painting. I like things to dry, stay, and then not reactivate with another coat. Layering, to a sense. So I was having problems with that. The colors mixed well. I got a really nice skin tone out of the set. You'll see it here in a moment as I'm painting. And that's... I don't really have much else to say. I would recommend it for somebody who's looking for maybe like cheaper student quality paints, or cheaper, getting closer to artist quality paints. They're not my favorite paints I've ever used. They're not my least favorite. They're kind of somewhere in the middle. They're not something I'll probably use very often. I think I said this before, but pretty good. So, the drawing that I'm doing is something kind of based off of Poison Ivy, but I didn't want to go completely that direction. It's more druid-esque. I was kind of bored while I was drawing this. It wasn't something I was super into. It was just kind of, that's a decent sketch. I'll move on and paint it. So it's just a girl in a pulled top with a skirt that's clipped at the side, summoning plants, with flowers in her hair and flowers growing off of the plants. I thought it was pretty neat. I went with the red hair because of the vibrant reds in the set. I thought that would be nice. But that is the one color I was having a really hard time getting to layer and move on the page properly. Especially just, it did not want to move as fluidly as I was trying to get it to. It dried strange and I just had issues in general with that color. All the other colors were fine. They wetted well, they worked well on the page, and they are continuing to finish drying, and none of them have cracked or begun to fall apart as of yet. If that does occur, I will let you guys know. So that's all I have to say in this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Bye, everyone!
Hey guys, if you like this video, be sure to check out another one over there, and if you want to see the full playlist for this series, check out over here. Thank you for watching, and subscribe if you like, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye everyone!